I
think
sandwich.
this morning she had crepes and bagels and cream cheese.
That's
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
I'm such like a bread and sweets person. It's so good.
I swear, so she models for a living, so she's highly aware of her sizes and has been training for a long time because of that and for that. But it's like the more ice cream and pizza she eats, the smaller she gets.
I swear.
And then what happens? She eats 2 slices of pizza, and the other fucking 8 are waiting for me, and I'm gonna do it. It's sitting in front of me. I don't hate myself. I don't hate life. It's warm pizza sitting in front of me. So then I'm sitting over here getting fat, and she's over here just getting skinnier. It's not fair.
Yeah, but she could eat only 2
Also, I
slices,
think
right? And just be okay. Say it again?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a proportions person. I eat smaller portions, but I eat more throughout the day.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I could open a pack of cookies and have 2 cookies and just put it back there. Well, if Mike opens
and then
a
you'll go later
cookie
and
bag,
more, and then
Mike eats the whole thing.
All of them right then.
Yes.
One's too much, and 100's not enough for me. So it's a catch-22.
There's on or there's off, my friend. There's really no in between for us.
We're extremists.
It works out. I gotta be honest though, I think that my body, and I've seen it with her as well, just responds no matter what you're doing, even if you're cheating on the diet, when you're happy.
Oh my gosh.
When you're in good spirits and you're happy. I mean, tell me if you agree or disagree, but I've noticed my body, it stays a lot better shape when I'm enjoying my life.
Yeah, I always talk about the cortisol release they talk about my sleep patterns and that I train so early. I have a pretty cool life, and so I'm pretty happy the majority of the time compared to the guy you would think that's sleeping 9 hours, but then he gets up and he goes to a job he doesn't like, so he's releasing cortisol all day, and that shuts the body down. So you think about that. You love your life. You enjoy yourself. So you eat a little something, but then you're training, you're happy all the time, so your body's utilizing those calories. So it's a huge difference when you start talking and start diving into the science of it and what happens to the body when you're depressed and sad relative to when you're happy. So that's a huge part.
Thing.
Like this
happiness, I think, is one of the most underrated things in the world.
It really is. It really is. And the one thing for us is if we can keep the calories high right now. And this is, I talk to most of my people around the world, and right now, if you're taking in a little bit more calories and you're staying positive through this process, when you come out of it, and everybody knows when you start to cut calories, you're starting to tighten up quicker, correct?
Yeah.
So utilize this time to take in a little bit more calories, to take in a little bit more carbohydrates, let your body utilize that stuff, stay healthy. And then after this lockdown period, when you get back to your training, if you just cut your calories just a little bit, you will tighten up so fast and so quick.
Yeah, your body's going to adjust like that because it's so used to already taking them in every day.
Love that. Well, I've seen a couple of questions for you guys. One of them, which I remember because it's fantastic, is, Mike, can you do finger push-ups?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thought so. Mona obviously can.
Can we show it for the camera? Can we do one right now? I'm ready for this.
We'll post it tomorrow.
Was a really good question is, how do you gain strength without gaining mass? Is that possible?
Yes, you can. Because remember, strength, and this is interesting, society believes muscle is strength. Now, you come from a background of martial arts, and you'll know this as well as I do, because that's how my foundation started. It was this most fragile-looking guy that you would think, oh, I'll take this guy on in a second. And next thing you know, you find yourself on your ass and your butt kicked from the most unopposing person in the world. It's called man strength. It's called connective tissue strength. That is where the real strength comes from. And people think that it's the guy that has the muscles. But it's not. It's muscles. It looks great, and yes, it does give you some strength, but the real strength comes from your connective tissue. And that's why you see athletes, and you could see all types of athletes in the UFC. They're not the greatest physiques in the world, but they'll take a 280-pound bodybuilder and put them on their ass. Yeah. And that's the strength that we're talking about. And so for somebody that wants to get bigger, wants to get stronger, or just stronger in a sense, by just continuously lifting and eating properly, he will get that strength.
Love that. And then let's say one more, because this is kind of the other side of it. Somebody's asking advice to tone up quickly, or just some of the best things you want to start getting toned?
Tone up quickly is, I mean, you obviously have to go in somewhat of a more deficit than you were in calorie-wise, and then just up the workload that you're doing. And with those two aspects, you know, the workload goes up and the calories come down. That speeds up the metabolism and burns the calories and gets you in shape quickly.
Wow.
And then I think you guys incorporated in fasting at times, and I did that this last getting ready for stage. I brought in a lot more fasting, and that really speeds it up.
What's your thoughts on that? Because I struggle with it, because I wake up in the mornings with like roaring hangriness. Like I'm so hungry that I can't wait.
Yeah, and I want to feed her as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I would say for you,
it didn't work. It just didn't work.
I would never do it for you. With you and your metabolism the way it is, it's like Mona dieted down with me and another buddy of mine that played pro football for 10 years. Now, even though he and I took in the same amount of calories and had a couple days of fasting, Mona actually took in the same amount of calories as both us 270-pound guys and did not do the fasting and still dropped the weight.
Right, because your metabolism, mine runs on that. Like it runs on the constant eating of throughout the day, I feel like.
And don't lose that, because that's the aspect that Mona has and you have, is that your bodies are burning at 100%, where he and I were already doing so much of a load. The only way for him and I to get more ripped, and this is a circle, a bad circle that I don't want nobody to get into, is that you have to train harder. And you have to go into more of a deficit. And so that's why I always talk about there's a 12-week span that you try to get ready for something and then you back down. And then you get ready for something and then you back down. You always have to back down. And that's why this time right now for me is great, that I get to relax and back down a bit.
It's always nice. Relaxation is a great thing. Whenever we can get it, we take it.
Yeah, let your body recover is also what you're saying.
Yeah, and your mind. I feel like our minds need this time to just kind of.
You are so right. You guys,
More than
it's
ever.
funny. You guys say some stuff that I think the majority of society don't talk about. Stress-free life and let your mind recover. And people always go, how do I know it's diet, I know it's training. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's let your mind relax and live a happy life.
My body has been through roller coasters, and what I found is the only time my body doesn't do what it's supposed to is when I'm stressed and upset about everything. The only times. If I'm happy, my body does exactly how I want it to.
If anybody takes anything away from this talk today, that's the one spot right there, what you just said.
Yeah,
absolutely. And that's why
that's health and fitness.
Yeah.
Well, health is the first word in health and fitness, right? Yeah. And mental health is a huge part of that. It relates to physical health. And that's why we wanted to start this. So hopefully you guys who are tuning in right now